The current read is so factually innocent. Then why are we witnesses against her getting death threats? Karen has had these people followed for a year. When her boyfriend died, Karen didn't shed a tear. Witnesses against her, they have to stay inside, waking up each morning now in fear for their lives. Does this sound like Karen has nothing to hide? The facts speak for themselves, but Karen had to enlist a psychopath's help. Even as the trial is underway, the witnesses testify, and Turtleboy intimidates them the same day. And his mob of halfwits, he's stirring them up for a purpose. What do you think that purpose is? If Karen Reed was factually innocent, she'd rely on the facts and not intimidation and threats. While the witnesses are speaking and the trial is in motion, Karen Reed shows no grief, she shows little emotion, but she does do one thing with no hesitation. She stares down witnesses to do her own intimidation. The only way this trial will be fair is to reprimand Karen for her dagger stare and put Turtleboy in jail. He's gonna intimidate each witness without fail. He's totally out of control, a maniac so bad Karen doesn't wanna be seen in public with him. What does that tell you, people? Prison for Karen Reed, prison for Turtleboy, throw away the key.
Let's say to that. It's my new hit single. Been getting really into writing lyrics for AI songs. It's my new hobby. So I'm just waiting for Lindsay right now. She's got young kids, so I'm anticipating she may need a few minutes, but that's fine. It's been a minute. Hey guys, what's up? We're live. I got a little bit to talk about today. I've been putting this off because there's several pending cases going on right now. But my dear friend Lindsay has been maligned repeatedly online by her ex-boyfriend, I guess you would call him, the married man that convinced her that he was separated and then mentally fucked her for 3 months until he battered her, witness intimidated her, and then took off into the night. But I'll let her tell that story, which I think is important at this point because I've gotten to know her. I like her a lot. Is she a perfect human being? No. Are any of us? Also no. Is she a better person than Turtleboy? Undoubtedly yes. Tiffany's Bombfest said, "What disabled person are we abusing today?" Turtleboy. With the truth, though. I don't know if the abuse is truth. David Lee, thank you. I look like I've lost weight. I'm trying. I'm always trying to not be a fat fuck. That's it. It's so good to see people here. Creole, good to see you. Brett sent you. My friend Jules. Jules is here. Jules has got to be Lindsay's #1 fan right now. And I certainly will give her the opportunity to answer super chats as they come in. Which will probably be applied to her legal fees because they are just going to be astronomical. Right now, we did put down $8,000 for her attorney George Papachristos. He did some great work in the restraining order hearing. Turtleboy tried and failed to get that vacated, as we anticipated it would, but George really stuck up for her there. So I don't know how much we've gone through in the $8,000. I think we're good right now. We'll find out. Yeah. You know what? I have a suspicion who the Barry Stevens account is. I've been told by people that were in this inner circle, and that person claims to be in imminent fear of me. So I'm going to block that person and suggest that they attend to their own lives. Higher Melody. I was actually just on another stream, Adam. I was on Roberta Glass's stream. She's a lovely woman who's been covering this very fairly, I think, and reasonably. So I was on a stream with her, and I think Melanie Little showed up in the chat. So I wrote a song about Melanie Little. Melanie Little is borderline mentally deficient. So the point of the song just flew right over her fucking head. And so she's now saying that she's going to sue me over it or something. Just to be clear, I don't think that anyone believes that she's an 800-year-old vampiric creature. Oh, good. Oh, good. I think we're going to have another friend join. Okay. I think we'll have a few friends join, actually, while we wait for Lindsay. It's a regular reunion. Hold on. This case has been, like, exhausting, too, just to follow along. It really is. And it's just begun. And one thing that really disturbed me this week, right, was like, right now, if you haven't been following the Karen Reed case, you could if you wanted to. You don't have to. I've been streaming it on and off when I have time and I'm not working with Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales, and I'll put it up on this channel too. We're only in day 4, so it's really early on. The prosecution, is presenting their case right now. They've had a handful of witnesses. Every single time that a witness testifies, they are immediately subjected to a blog and then mob harassment and intimidation from a one Aiden Carney. Unbelievable. So there was one particular first responder. She's a young woman, probably 28 years old, named Katie McLaughlin. Beautiful girl, young girl, at the start of her career, really only maybe, 6 years in. No reason to lie, really. And I found her testimony to be credible. But the defense really focused in on whether or not she had a relationship with the homeowner where John O'Keefe's body was found with his daughter. And they weren't really able to get there. They were able to present in court 3 photos. They were not admissible, so the jury never saw them, of these 2 young ladies in a social situation together, a few social situations together. So she did testify that she's known Caitlin Albert, who's the homeowner's daughter, for approximately 10 years. She's saying since high school, so we can probably say 14-year span altogether. And the defense in court was only able to dredge up 3 pictures in a 10 to 14-year period. So not the best of friends by what they were able to present. Now, afterwards, the internet went absolutely batshit crazy after Aiden stirred up his mindless mob, as he likes to do. And they were able to present, I believe, a total of 9 to 10 photos over a 10 to 14-year period. These 2 young ladies went to high school together and afterwards. So I know that they're trying to present this as Katie McLaughlin lied. They have a really close relationship. Some of you people have never been asked to be in a group photo, and it shows. Right. I've been to parties where I do not know everyone there. And as I was just saying on the last podcast that I was on, Karen Reed over New Year's was on a group vacation in a different country in Aruba with about 70 people that she either didn't know at all or barely knew. They were acquaintances through her boyfriend. So it's not unheard of. I mean, it's just silly. I would like to point out, though, that although there was a lot of focus on Katie McLaughlin lied about her relationship with Caitlin Albert, there was no focus on Katie McLaughlin lied about Karen Reed stating that she hit John O'Keefe. Interesting that what they're latching on to there. Very interesting. Oh, look who's here. It's my friend.
I'm here. What are your other 2 wishes?
That's my only wish for this evening.
Aw. Been a while. I like what you've done.
It has.
I like the new intro.
I am going to write a song for every time that I go live now, I think, because I really enjoy writing lyrics.
You may have a problem.
What, with writing lyrics?
Like, yeah. You've all I've seen you do for the last 2 weeks is write lyrics.
I am the new Cyrex. I am the music industry. Yeah. Yes, his cult members are probably here silently watching, and they're probably really anticipating Lindsay coming up on stream so that they can batter her further. She's a tough girl, though. She's really making it through, right?
Yeah. I have mad respect for Lindsay. I really do. For all the shit she's put up with, just for happening to be in the wrong place at the wrong time effectively. It's insane what these people will do to someone when the mob turns on them.
Right. And it's like, I think it's interesting because now we're hearing that Katie McLaughlin, the first responder that I was just discussing, is receiving death threats in retaliation for her testimony, right? Which does fit the statute for witness intimidation. I'm sure the cult members don't care, but like if you sent her a death threat, cult, like you might be committing a crime. Not that you give a shit, really, obviously, but I think that it's interesting because it's like it's very sequential. Testimony happens. Turtleboy steps up and he writes a blog and he does his little show about it. Death threats happen. Now, one thing that I do want to discuss with Lindsay is that the same thing happened to her too. Someone says 9 different parties. Was it 9 different parties, Spy Kesta? Have you ever been to a handful of parties with someone? Do you consider them best friends? I don't really understand what the social fiber of the turtle cult is and how you people don't understand this. But like, I've been to parties probably a dozen times with somebody that I wouldn't consider a friend, not with them. That's another kind of like, did you go to the beach with Caitlin Albert? They kept asking. I could almost guarantee she didn't go with Caitlin Albert. She went and Caitlin Albert was there. 2 very different things.
Just like the mentality on Twitter, because that's where I wage war and slug in the trenches with these people, is if you've ever checked out an Albert or a McCabe at the grocery store, you're corrupt and you can't be a witness because you've been corrupted by whatever. It's a small town, people. Most of these people, they're like, half of the people involved in this went to Canton High School. Well, no shit. It's Canton High School. Right. It's not a huge town. There's not a lot of people there. They're big families we're talking about. And if you live in the Massachusetts area and you share a name with a witness, hide, because they'll find the wrong person and they'll go after them. Somebody with a similar name, they will go after on Twitter and leave bad reviews for their businesses and dig out your pictures and post them all over the place. It's insane. Right. All of this is this mob mentality is just getting bigger and bigger and more toxic. And it's not, at this point, I am concerned for the safety of not only the witnesses, but the jurors as well. God forbid they don't return the verdict that this mob wants them to. What's going to happen to them? Well, yeah, was it the Chesney case? The Chesney case. Intrepid failed blogger and public commentator went and found the one juror that voted against and quote unquote publicly shamed them because they gave the wrong thing. So he's already done this. Right. Wouldn't surprise me if he does it again. Oh, I would assume so. Sorry. This is a follow-up to that. Sorry. I do appreciate when like the cultists come in and at least try. I appreciate it. But this Spectre account, where is it? I just lost the comment. But essentially they said, exactly, what does it matter if they're kind of friends? It doesn't. And that's what Katie McLaughlin testified to, though, is that they were kind of friends. They were acquaintances, right? So at least we can all agree on that. We're getting somewhere. The implication, I think, is that if you've ever met one of these people, then you will potentially throw away your career, your life, your pension, and everything else to frame somebody. And I've seen no reason for that to happen. Somebody's keeping a running tally on Twitter of every time the free Karen retards claim somebody else is in on the conspiracy. It's over 100 people now that must be involved in this conspiracy for it to work. Over 100 people to frame one lady who backed into a dude with a car. And said that she hit him. I heard she hit him. Kevin said the same thing too. And I like Kevin, and I value his opinion about like how she seemed evasive when she was saying, I know someone named Caitlin Albert. There's a little bit of context there. And this is actually kind of a sad story too. there was more than one Caitlin Albert in that class at Canton High, FYI. And so the mob actually started to go after. Oh no, was it Caitlin Albert? No, it was Katie McLaughlin.
It's the other one. There was two Katie McLaughlins.
Katie McLaughlin. So scratch that, strike that, take it off the record. I was wrong.
Yeah, there were two Katie McLaughlins, and they initially found the wrong one and started flipping out about them on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. They're digging back 10, 15 years in people's lives and going, aha, you two had contact once. He filled your gas tank when he worked at the Stuckies. So it's a conspiracy. They cannot accept that this woman said on Dateline, Nightline, Line Night, whatever the show was, I said I hit him. She said it on a televised TV interview. She said it. Now they're going, she never said that. She did. She said it on the interview. She said it at the scene, according to a lot of people. And then you get the other people going, there were 14 people on scene. Why didn't they all hear her say it? Well, there's idling trucks parked there. It's a blizzard. There's people running back and forth in a snowstorm. You're not going to hear every word said there. I'm following the testimony and really enjoying it because everybody is fitting in their little piece of the puzzle. And it's all coming together to show she hit him.
We haven't gotten to the forensic evidence or anything else yet. And I'm getting more and more emails and communications from people who used to buy into the cult that are now coming around and want to talk about it. So I think it's interesting how the perception has shifted. And I think the witness intimidation actually played a large part in people's opinions on this shifting, right? Because like I wrote in my song, if you are truly innocent, if you are truly factually innocent, why are you not relying on the facts? Why are you relying on this egregious witness intimidation and harassment? If the facts prove you innocent or not guilty even, right? Why do you need to, right?
Because conspiracy, Kate. It's always conspiracy. Everything's answered by the conspiracy. Everything. With somebody, look, Yannetti, I think, in the opening statement said that John O'Keefe's body ended up effectively under Brian Albert's bedroom window. So people are going on about that. It's somebody plotted it out. It's somewhere between 48 and 60 feet away from the corner of the house. It's not under any window. But someone on Twitter said, do you think they launched him out the window? Like they were actually positing that could they have thrown or dumped him out the second floor window? I mean, these people are nuts.
No.
They're literally insane.
Oh my God. This is like confirmation bias and sunk cost fallacy and just mental regardation combined to I don't even know what is going on anymore. It's flabbergasting. And I've been really upset about not only, I mean, obviously the treatment of the witnesses in the O'Keefe family was jarring and terrible and awful, but then to see that yet again, like I feel like Lindsay is Leah Genduso 2.0. Right? Like Aiden stuck his dick where it should not have gone in a single woman when he was a married man. He fucked up and didn't use protection, as we know that he usually doesn't, because we've heard that a lot, which is disgusting. And he knocked this chick up and didn't want to take responsibility for it, pressured her into doing what, taking care of it, so to speak, even though he's a staunch anti-abortion guy, family rights, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then, after that, absolutely demonizes her. And these mindless mob, members will just go along with it and tear this woman down. And I think that it's terrible that, again, they're in one breath saying that she's a vulnerable woman, that she's easily manipulated, she's being used, blah, blah, blah. And then they are using that perceived vulnerability, which is not the case, by the way. She's not stupid by any stretch of the imagination, as you will see. They're using that vulnerability to punch down at her, really, like at least what they feel like is punching down. And it's really, really gross. Who Aiden sleeps with, I mean, he's always screaming about how nobody should care about his personal life or who he's sleeping with. I don't know. His cult seems to care a lot when it doesn't work out, right?
Yeah. Not to mention that Aiden's private life is private. You can't even mention that. It's none of your business. Why would you pry into a doting father's private life? But God forbid somebody end up on the wrong end of the cult. They've got every bit of their details out there. They're writing over it. If somebody got clean 15 years ago, they're still an addict as far as they're concerned. It's insane. It's terrifying. I mean, it's people are afraid to even mention his name because they know that every speeding ticket their grandmother ever got may be brought up in a blog if his attention falls on you. Or that your brother's business will start getting bad Yelp reviews and bad, I mean, this happens. We've been watching this happen. Oh, this person was nasty to some of the code stank people standing outside the courthouse. Suddenly there's bad reviews on their business page. And you can tell who wrote most of the bad reviews because they're very, very predictable.
Yeah, I mean, the businesses that they go after, families, I know they wanted to go after this girl's nursing license, her children, her housing. I mean, it's insane. Absolutely insane. Why? Because she dumped Aiden Carney? That's the problem that we have here?
I mean, I feel like it's more that he lost his control over. I mean, my feelings about Aiden is I believe the man is very careful in who he selects. So that he can have a level of control over them. Usually he's got a hook over them of some form. And if they wriggle out from under it, he gets very angry.
Right. I mean, that's what it all is, right? It's constant need for control. Use the court system to try to exert control. If that doesn't work, use social media. If that doesn't work, then we're going to private messages and threats. And, this mob that he has created is just another form of coercive control, right? Do what I want, say what I want, or I will send my mob after you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
And that also, the downside of that is that also gives plausible deniability. Well, I didn't do it. It must have been my people who did it. And I don't tell my people what to do. They just do things, even though he goes on his stream and he says, it would be terrible if this happened. Please don't do this. Whatever you do. I mean, I can't stop you, but please don't do this. We've seen that multiple times.
He doesn't even do that anymore. It really is just like, oh, I'm not telling you what to do. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But read between the lines. Here's the phone number for this business. Would be a real shame if they got bad reviews. Ridiculous. Mike says he went after my daughter too. Yeah, I mean that's whose daughter has this man not gone after at this point. Realistic, like honestly, children are Aiden Carney's preferred targets. I don't know if it's because he is sexually attracted to them at this point. I don't know if it's because he is so emotionally stunted that in his mind he still is a child and therefore it's appropriate. I don't know if it's just because they are soft targets and they are a vulnerability, particularly to parents, but that is his preferred target. If you look at just the Karen Reed case, he doesn't stick to the parents. He always goes to the children.
Well, it's when you go after somebody's kids, it provokes a response. I mean, in your average parent, it's going to provoke a response, right? You come after my kids, I'm coming after you, period. Then he has the ability to stand back, raise his hands and go, wait, I'm just a journalist. Why are you coming at me? What are you sensitive over? What are you trying to hide? I mean, we see it over in the corner of YouTube I hang out in all the time. You can't piss somebody off, bring their kids up. That'll piss them off. And then you can claim that they're flipping out and paint them as a crazy person and all that kind of stuff. And it's a dirty tactic. And I don't know, man. I wish people would stop doing it. I really do.
It's not really, I mean, yeah, it's him. And I mean, unfortunately with Lindsay, that's the first thing that he really zoned in on, right? Is like, let me go after your children. And as a single mother of 4 kids, that must be like absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. I do understand the mama bear response out of her. I really do.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know too many women who are going to sit back and just let somebody threaten their kids, claim they have information about them, potentially say that they're handing it around without reacting.
Right. Someone says, I fear for the 2 children who are going to have to testify. Yeah, I was sent a clip where essentially Aiden was sort of insinuating that he was going to go after the kids. So can't wait to see them get cross-examined. Oh, that's really going to, create some doubt there. Like, of course, you're going to attack 2.
I mean, so that'll be the test. Like I understand the way he is with adults. I don't praise it. I don't like it, but I understand the way he is with adults. But if he's going to do that, he's already gone at John's senior family and his siblings. Right. If he's going to go at the children who are basically twice orphaned now because they testify the wrong way, I think that's going to be a window into his soul. These are people who lost their father, their mother, and then their father. And then John adopted them and then lost him as well. And if he's going to like attempt to heap more pain on top of them because they just testify to what they experienced, that's a bad person.
Right. And I mean, the children are innocent in this, and God knows they've suffered enough, Microdots audio. Is the Microdots audio legit? Do you know what she's talking about?
I'm not sure. Hey, Heels, how are you doing? I'm not sure what Richie cooked up this week. I don't trust anything that Microdots puts out without
you guys have
knowing
to
its
remember.
background.
You have to remember, this is crucial when we're talking about Richie Keough of Quincy, Massachusetts, who goes by Microdots. Richie Keough has repeatedly told numerous people within the Karen Reed camp and beyond that he is, quote, and this is a direct quote here, on Alan Jackson's payroll. So he is, out of his own mouth, by his own account here, being paid by the defense. So you should believe 0.0001% of everything that guy says. And he wears little boy cargo shorts. So I don't know what that has to do with anything really, but I would definitely use that as a precipitating factor there. Yeah.
Go personally.
I said,
I wear cargo shorts a lot.
Alpha Fox Adam says, I don't think Jackson and Yannetti will go hard on the niece and nephew. They're not that dumb. I agree with you. They didn't bother to cross-examine Erin O'Keefe, who is John O'Keefe's sister-in-law, or Paul O'Keefe, his brother. And I think that I would be very shocked if they passed on cross-examining the adults and then decided to cross-examine the children. That would be pretty shocking. It would be a terrible decision.
Hey, I thought that they would send Elizabeth Little up against the Katie McLaughlin, but they sent Jackson up there in being Jackson. So I'm not even sure. I assumed that they had the female lawyer on retainer so she could cross the females, because it generally looks bad to have a lawyer like Jackson badgering. And if you've watched, he's been badgering to the point where the judge is actually counsel sidebar now. So I assumed that they'd use women on women because it looks bad to have a big bad male lawyer beating up on a female witness, but they haven't. So I don't know, man. All the stops may be pulled at this point. This may be a last ditch effort.
I think it is. I think that it is. I don't really see. I think that there's a lot of noise on social media. I don't see that translating to the jury though quite as well.
Yeah, I can't tell what the jury's dealing with. And by the way, to the defense, nice job. Like, complaining that Karen's civil rights were going to be violated if they saw the witnesses in profile, and moving to the smaller courtroom where now, if you're looking at the lawyer at the stand, John's parents are directly behind him, and Karen's pulling faces in your view. That was a brilliant maneuver.
So, Bill, I don't know who Mazza Media is. I know that there's been some discussion of that person or account or people, whatever it is, in Discord. I know, actually, that's so funny that you mentioned it, because I guess while we're waiting for Lindsay, I might actually have to call her. Because I know she was trying to get her kid down. But somebody sent me a clip that they wanted me to play of Mazza Media, actually, because they were questioning whether or not it was witness intimidation. I'm not a lawyer. I can't even say, like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I'll never be a lawyer. I'm too dumb for all that. But let me see. So I think that was at 9 minutes. All right. Let's see how this goes. So I'm gonna play this, and I guess, like, she made it.
Hi. Sorry, I was having trouble getting. Actually, the kids still are. 2 of them are still awake, so I might have to step away at one point. But
it's all right. You can. I constantly have to, like, reroute and, like, corral my dog or yell at somebody anyway. So, like, we're in good company. So, Lindsay, welcome.
Thank you.
We have.
What are you doing wearing makeup? You know you shouldn't have that on at 11:45. And wait, what time?
Oh, I know. Jess Machado.
It's only 9:15.
Hi, Groza.
Hey, Jess Machado. That woman is a goddamn. She's a roller dog that escaped a 7-Eleven. Just look at her. She's god damn.
We get real petty here anyway, so that's fine.
Well,
no,
I
think
do.
She's a hateful person. I think she's a absolutely hateful, disgusting person. Yeah, she gave me a list of questions.
The questions, yeah. Right. Did you answer those, by the way? You're gonna
I guess I could now, since apparently this, for anyone who doesn't know who Jess Machado is, listen, everyone knows I'm not a small girl. You can get me in all sorts of positions where I don't look great. I usually don't body shame, but she is the epitome of fat bitch energy. Just like
what did Aiden call her when he did the blogs on her? Wasn't it like Somerset Snatch Donkey or Swamp Donkey or something like that?
What is a snatch donkey? Yeah. What is a snatch donkey? I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's clearly something that was made up for the purpose, but I mean, and now she's calling him daddy.
Oh my God.
Who hasn't had a relationship that starts with snatch donkey and ends with daddy, though, right? I can't. You dumb fat bitch. So yeah, she's a hanger on. So she really wanted to interview me and Lindsay, actually, because she's really got a hard on for you, Lindsay.
Yeah, and that's exactly why she waited 4 months to reach out when she had my number the entire time. And she even knows what the inside of my kitchen looks like, but she couldn't find a way to get in contact with me until now.
So how did she get your number?
I'm assuming court records, that she just happened. What did she say? She was just down at the courthouse one day, I don't know.
She said she was reporting on another case, and she used the press login that is provided to accredited members of the press at the courthouse to look up your information while she was there as well. And this was before it was sealed. So what she has completely legally, and she can use it as, press, which publishing shit on Twitter, apparently that's press now, but.
Which is interesting to me because she was down at the courthouse looking up just, random people, including mine and multiple other people, she said, and didn't think for once, to look up any of Aiden's past stuff and publish any of that, as this unbiased reporter. I don't know. I mean, how many HBOs have been attempted on him, or how many has he attempted on other people? Have we lost count at this point?
I think that as far as HBO's attempted on him, it's around 20 to 30. I don't have the exact number in front of me. I know a lot of people have contacted me, and he always complains about it on his blog. So if you were to look up order, then you'd get a real education onto that. And as far as how many times he's attempted to get orders on people, well, obviously me several times until he finally succeeded, guys, which is absolute bullshit. Let me take a tangent here. Usually, whatever, I've been trying since the whole Chili DeCastro debacle to just shut the fuck up about any court issues that I personally have, because it never helps to spill your guts. Exhibit 1, Turtleboy, right? Didn't work out well for him. Hasn't worked out for him well. But either way, so this guy goes down. This is probably the third or fourth time that he's tried to get an order on me. Never succeeded before. And we have a hearing, and the judge picks out 3 statements and says these fit the statute, right? One in, I believe it was April or March of 2023, where somebody, I think it was Maddie Moe even, had asked me, would you fight Aiden? And I was like, yeah, no, I would, but he'd call the cops, and I speculated as to who would win. And I accurately said it would be me, realistically, whatever. And the second one was, I think I had gotten frustrated at one point, whatever spurred me to do this. And I went on a live stream and said, hey, enough of this petty back and forth. Let's duke it out. And the third one was he accused me of threatening him with violence if he showed up at West Roxbury District Court. But when you actually listen to the quote, I didn't say anything about violence. I simply said that I would have real men with real jobs and real testicles with me. So please don't bother me in the parking lot. And apparently that's scary. So I argued it poorly and the order was granted. Whatever, I think it's bullshit, but we'll roll with it. If nothing else, it's confirmed in this very hypothetical, speculative fight that I threw out in March of 2023. I think we all know who the winner would be, and it's not the person that ran for court protection at the mere mention of it. Okay, so that settles that. All right. But right afterwards, this motherfucker will not stop tweeting at me. I've had to block 5 accounts. Dr. Turtleboy blocked. Then he pops up on Turtleboy phone, answering all of my tweets that have nothing to do with him. So I blocked that one. Now there's a new account, Ghetto Mellow. I get a bunch of texts from former Turtle Riders. Oh, watch out. That's him. Block that one. Then
Kiki Reddington. Don't forget
Cheeky
Cheeky
Reddington.
Reddington.
Thank you. Had to block that one too. Like, seriously, if someone does it, like needs court protection from you, then I feel like they should not continue to try to contact you. And you know, when he tried to vacate your order, Lindsay, he accused you of this, but he had no evidence of it, right? Because it never happened.
That's what I mean. He used false, manufactured, you know, whether it was him that sent himself these messages or a friend of his, whoever it was, you know, it wasn't even real stuff, you know, I mean, talk about abuse of the system. I just can't, I don't know. This is again, the hypocrisy. Like we talk about it all the time. The Turtleboy cult members, the hypocrisy that it's, I don't know. Sorry. I'm getting flustered because it makes me so mad to think about it, how you couldn't even get a hearing,
Right.
you know, to be heard on it. And this is what he does. He's been doing it for, like, even when he, you know, accusing Andy of assault. Like, I didn't even, when I went, you know, I spoke to the police and about what happened on the night of the 23rd, as we said it like numerous times, I didn't call, and I didn't even call it an assault. I told, you know, the police what happened, but what was he hiding behind a tree or something?
He was hiding behind a pole. Yeah. So, I mean, like he went to this court hearing that was actually between me and another one of his exes. And he didn't need to be there. Obviously, he was just there to cause trouble. And I was there with Andy. And there's surveillance video of this, which I'll probably put on my channel at some point, just because like a lot of people are like, oh my God, he viciously assaulted Aiden. Not even close. There was like, I mean, the case was dismissed regardless, but like genuinely, even without that case anymore, I can say in full honesty, like there was no assault. No. There's surveillance video of Aiden, and he's hiding behind like a pillar that's in the court. And he's there for about 15 minutes because we're waiting in the courtroom for him and the other party, you know, his ex, to leave, right? Because she had an order on me, and I don't really want to catch her in the parking lot, even though she's constantly trying to catch me. Like, right, so he's out there and he's waiting and he's waiting, and you see him all of a sudden throw up his hood and just beeline it. And that's because we're coming out. So he beelines it towards me, and Andy's with me. And Andy is like texting on his phone and hears him Aiden kind of yelling, and kind of turns to him and starts walking to him to keep him away from me. And it's like, don't, you know, and he doesn't even look up from his phone. And at some point they must run into each other. You can't really see a lot. And you hear Aiden scream, "Don't touch me." And you hear Andy scream something to the effect of, "You don't touch me." And maybe a shoving match ensues, maybe not. And then, you know, Andy walks away and Aiden continues to follow him, which but if you're assaulted, then why would you follow the person that just assaulted you? I feel like you wouldn't.
He was the aggressor in the situation.
Right. I mean, right. As he usually is. Right. Yeah.
It's him out waiting for you guys. And I mean, that's an assault, but grabbing a woman's wrist, trying to wrestle a paper out of her hand and pushing her onto a couch is not an assault.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, you've really been taken through. So let me take you back. So I know that he has told his version of your story, which I know is yeah, right. Yeah, he's told several versions. That's true. And I know it's not true, but like, if you don't mind, and you know, if anything's too much, just say I'm not comfortable. But like, if you take us back to, how did you guys meet?
That's probably the only part that he has told the truth about, I think, in this whole thing. The message that I sent to him wearing a free Karen Reed t-shirt saying hi. And I mean, like I said, in court, I had been following the Karen Reed case, you know, watching his live streams about it. And he was really the only one that was really covering a lot of it at the time. And at that, you know, because I had only been getting my information from one source, him, at the time I did believe that she was innocent or not guilty. And you know, it went from there. I was going to go to the hearing. I think it was September 15th. And I ended up having court myself that day across the street at District for stuff with my child's father. So that protest and hearing I didn't end up going to, but I saw him after that as I was going to my car in the parking lot behind the Registry of Deeds. So that was the day that we met. And so it was probably 2 weeks before that we started talking online. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much you want me to get into, but, the first time, I think, let me see, the first time we went out was, like a couple weeks after that, McMorgan's. And then I went to the Halloween party. I went to the comedy show. So this is, I've been hearing all these comments lately about she's not a victim. She inserted herself into this. She knew what she was getting into. She was mugging it up for the cameras at the Halloween party. Like, I took a picture with him, who at the time was my boyfriend. I took a picture with him, and that means I'm mugging it up from the cameras and inserting myself. So, I mean, I didn't tell anybody, like, really at the time that I was even seeing him, because he was constantly telling me, we need to keep you a secret because Kate, will come after you. Her and the trolls will attack you. They will come for your kids. They will destroy your life. So we can't let anybody know that you're with me. And of course, it made sense to me. I'm trying not to say, I watched myself the other day, and I say I'm trying. So a lot of the stuff he was telling me at the time, he's good at manipulating it. I fell for it stupidly, but I mean, because I was in a brief relationship with this guy, I deserve to get harassed now. I deserve the attacks that I'm getting by all these crazy cult members that just take his word for everything. I should have known better. I mean, I guess, I should have done my due diligence. I should have looked into him more. I should have, expected based on his past. In hindsight, I wish I could do a lot of things different, but what am I?
I mean, who doesn't make a bad call with that? And as I understand, like, sort of the messages that I've seen, and we can make a Dropbox with what Lindsay's you're comfortable with sharing, so that you guys can see it for yourself too, like the actual messages between, because anyone who is like OG here and has been here a long time, they've seen like the on and off battle with Aiden Carney. So this is not the first time that we've had private messages of his and been able to put them out. He does a lot in text. We know that, right? He does way too much in text for somebody doing as much dirty shit as he is, right? So I've seen some of these texts, and I think, like, from his perspective, I shouldn't say his perspective, his story, what he's trying to sell people is that you came on to him strong. But I've seen the opposite, right? Which is that he was the one who was pushing to become closer and more intimate with you, right? Right. Yeah. And I don't know how much you want to say, but like, I know that the first time that you guys were supposed to go out, you actually canceled, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And I told him that the babysitter didn't show up because I had a bad gut feeling, and I had got all ready, was literally ready to walk out the door, and just something in my gut told me not to, and called him up, told him that the sitter canceled, or she got a flat tire. I forget what story I used. And trust me, I look back now and I wish I had trusted my gut and just never spoke to him again. But it's funny. Yeah. The information that he puts out there and tries to portray and has said in court, it's ridiculous. And I have no problem. Like, I didn't believe in putting my personal business out there. I still don't, but I feel like I've been backed into a corner where I kind of have no choice, and he's put everything out there. So there's really nothing much left of my privacy or my personal life, except the truth. Like, you have his altered messages or his cropped messages that he cherry picks and tries to victimize himself. So I feel like, at some point I'm going to have to just show everything so people can see what really happened.
And it's unfortunate too, because the narrative is so skewed. So, like, I'm sure people are curious, because I know I was at first too. This is what was like, so from your perspective anyway, what, I guess, was the relationship like? What is dating Aiden like? I already know the answer, but I want to put it in public.
Don't ever expect to have your meals or drinks paid for, or don't expect the door to be held open for you or your chair to be pulled out. I mean, he's a very self-absorbed human. I mean, you can see that just by watching him, but he's very much like that in real life as well. Anytime we would go out, it was, him off talking to whatever fan and like interrupting whatever conversation we're having, going over and talking to the fan for the entire time, or just talking about himself, never asking questions, just going on and on about his fame and his, there are so many red flags that I look back now and I don't know why. Like I said, I was very fresh out of a really toxic, very long relationship. And I think I just was feeling really low about myself, very low self-esteem, insecure, like that I did, I have 4 kids. This is the best I can get, like kind of thing. And should have, I should have just walked away much sooner, but he was very, very over complimentary in the beginning. I will say that very, lots of love bombing. Like, you're the most amazing person I've ever met. You're so smart. You're so beautiful. You're so different than any other woman I've been with. Constantly texting, constantly calling, and to the point where, like, if he thought I was upset with him over something, it would be dozens and dozens and dozens of missed calls until I would answer. Just very needy, like needing constant validation. Right. Oh, your arms look so big. You're like very
gym pics. Oh my God.
The gym pics that I wanted, that I always requested. Yeah.
Insane.
Ladies of the chat, if you could just type in the chat, getting gym pics from a guy making a duck face with tiny arms sticking out of a t-shirt pulled up to his neck, up his bicep to show you how big, duck facing at himself in the mirror. Is that a turn on? Yes or no? Thank you. Back to your interview.
I'm sorry. Like, so this is fast forwarding to like after the relationship. So like, I've already said this in public, but like, we connected, Lindsay and I, and like, so we started talking. There's like this prevalent thing that Aiden is trying to push out, that there was some sort of conspiracy to like lure him to Lindsay's house and force him to assault and witness intimidate her or like whatever, which is crazy. But the whole time, honest to God, and like he knows it because he has the phone extraction now, I was telling her, like, don't go see him in person, right? Because like I've seen Dateline. I know how that goes when a married guy doesn't want you to have his baby and whatnot. Like, it's not good. Like, it can turn out really bad. So I remember one day you had texted me and you were like, oh my God, I just got the creepiest message. And she shows me and it's Aiden. And he's like, guess where I am right now? And she's like, holy shit, I'm looking out my windows right now. And so like a few hours go by and she goes, never mind. He sent me a fucking gym pic. So this guy would send her gym pics all the time. Like she's not asking for them. No, from a fucking Planet Fitness. From a Planet Fitness.
Well, to be fair, there's no chance he was ever going to set the lunk alarm off. So probably the best place for him to lift.
He's got little boy titties. I'm sorry, but like he's got little spaghetti arms. I better be careful with what I say. I don't want to violate any court orders here. This is not threatening at all. I'm just saying he's not a physically imposing or attractive man. Like, it's all this idea of like the fame and the influence. Like, I think he even told you at one point, like, if he wasn't Turtleboy, girls never looked at him, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. He said you would never talk to me if I wasn't Turtleboy. Women only, I never got attention from women before Turtleboy existed. That's the only reason that girls are interested in me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't imagine why when he does shit like fucking tries to flex his spaghetti arms with little girl boobies in a fucking Planet Fitness. It's just like, hey baby, like, well, guess where I am right now? Nobody gives a fuck. How about that? Like, gross. Like you dress like a toddler, gross. Like, I don't even know. The whole thing was just fascinating. So like, obviously things turned bad for you guys. What were some like red flags that you saw?
Oh God, there were so many. I mean, the first, I guess, issue was when we went to the Halloween party. And I'm sure some people have heard the story, but he had been telling me about his relationship with a certain person. I won't mention her name. And told me that, you know, because I kind of questioned it at first. Like she would call him every single day and was, he would send me, like, this is the thing that he did in the beginning. He sent me all screenshots of all messages between him and every girl prior to me, which was like another red flag, obviously. Like, why are you sending me 50 pages of screenshots of private text messages and private photos and private this and like not intimate photos, but like private, you know. And but of this one particular person who he said was just a friend, and he was trying to keep it a secret from her, though, that he was seeing me. And she found out, I guess. I was told that he told me that she knew, but other people told me that she found out the day of the Halloween party, that he said, don't come. I'm dating someone new and I'm bringing her with me. And so towards the end of the party, Elisa Twisted had come up to me, and she was friends with this girl at the time, and told me, you know, that they're, you know, Lauren, sorry, I didn't mean to say her name. I know I'm not supposed to. This person had just found out that day of the party that I was going to be there, and she was very upset. So she said, you know, they're still hooking up. They hooked up as recently as a couple weeks ago. And when I asked him about, you know, full denied everything, said that Elisa was a liar, said that she was just creating drama, that she just was trying to be relevant and wanted a piece of this, you know, she was a grifter, she was this and that. And he completely turned on her and started posting to all of his members that her, like, stuff from her past, that her GoFundMe's and this, you need to boycott Twisted Tragedies. You need to stay away from her. She's a bad person. I thought that she was good and she's no good. And they all turned on her. So that was the first thing that, okay, well, maybe there's a possibility, you know, this person just lied. Maybe he had every excuse, manipulated me to believe that this was just a one thing, like a one-time thing, that this girl was just crazy and for some reason was out to get him. But then there was multiple other instances. There was, Elisa went on her show and ended up in the comments, I saw another woman saying, let's talk about lying men that see multiple women at the same time. And now this woman ended up finding my number somehow and called me and told me, yeah, I've been actually seeing Aiden too the past however many months, 9 months, I think she said, a year, I can't remember. So she says all this stuff that he's him and her, like, they were in love. They see each other at least a couple times a month, and they're very close. And she had no idea about me. She just found out because of this other incident that had happened at the Halloween party, and with Lisa talking about it on her channel. So I talked to her quite a bit, and it was funny comparing some of the things that he had told both of us. And I believed her. She seemed really genuine. Of course, Eden, once again, had every excuse in the book, made up all kinds of reasons. And, you know, he ended up going back to this woman, told her, you're ruining my relationship. I really like this girl so much. You know, you need to call her. You need to tell her that you lied, that none of this is true. So I ended up getting a call. And I didn't know that he said that to her at the time. I found out after the fact. But sure enough, she ended up calling me, telling me, I was mistaken. We weren't seeing each other during the time that he started seeing you. I was just jealous because I thought that he wanted to be with me. And I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to lie. This is what he does, though. It's one thing after another. And I mean, there was multiple more instances throughout the course of the relationship, but it was just a lot. So each time I'm like, I mean, that second time at least. And then there was one more time after that. I was like, listen, I don't need this mess. I don't need to deal with this. I just got out of a toxic, that was 6 years long. I don't need to go through this again. It's not even worth my time and effort and energy. And that's when he sent me the suicide baiting video. Right after that.
Right.
which you guys, I think, most of you have seen.
Yeah. So what, when she tried to break up with him, he wrote her text messages and said, "Gee, I can't go on living anymore. I'm killing myself. It's your fault." Which, again, if you're OG, you remember back to Leah Janduso, he did the same thing to her. And then I think that, like, just so that people get like a good picture of what would happen if you wouldn't answer the phone. There's one particular day that I remember you telling me about. How many times did he call you when you wouldn't answer the phone?
I think I counted 67 times. Yeah.
So this man called this woman 67 times while she was trying to break up with him because she would not answer her phone.
And then it was the text messages. I'm obsessed. Please, I can't live without you. I need you in my life. I can't imagine a world without you in it. Please, I need to talk to you. Just give me 5 minutes. I just need to tell you something. It was always, and if that didn't work, it was another tactic. It was the threats about harming himself. And I don't know. That's why it's such a joke to me to hear the stuff about me being a scorned woman that is just upset she got done. Like, I tried to end the relationship multiple times, and I actually have messages between me and a family member of mine where I'm saying, like, I need to get out. I need to. And she's like, well, just leave, just break up with them. And I'm like, you don't understand. Yeah. I think a couple people at that point had told me, nobody leaves Aidan Garney. You don't get out unscathed. No, whether you work for him, you date him, you're friends with him. If you try to leave him, you should prepare for all hell to break loose.
And that's another thing that he would do, right? With the implicit threats. You're trying to leave him, and then all of a sudden he's sending back all your naked pictures to you as a reminder that he has them, right?
There was one, he made sort of like a collage out of clips from videos he had taken and sent them to me after he had called me. Like, he had called me that day and said, just so you know, if you don't go through with this, I'm filing for full custody and you'll never see this kid. Right. So I had my daughter's early intervention workers coming over for an appointment. I had to get off the phone, and I'm like, I'll talk to you. You're not going to do, I'll talk to you later. And I hung up with him. While this meeting was going on, I'm getting text messages from him. And I look at my phone. He's sending me this like collage of clips from videos he took of me where he is edited out of them. And it's just me, my face and body. And after he had just made that nasty comment. So when I texted him back when I got done with the meeting, I said, what is this? It seems like you're trying to threaten me. And he says, oh no, I'm just trying to flirt, or I'm just trying to sext or whatever it was. Really? Because you were just on the phone with me threatening me. So no, that's not what you're doing. I'm not stupid. It was implied. But that's what he does. And that's how he skirts the law, even with this witness intimidation stuff, where he doesn't directly tell his followers or fans to harass these people. He just says the word. It was the same type of thing. He's not directly saying, I'm going to send these pictures to people, but I knew what he meant, what he was doing. Just like with the documents that the night of the 23rd, it was the 22nd where he first told me that he had them. He didn't have to say, I'm going to spread these around. He sent them and he said, Daddy likes to do his research. And then he says, don't worry though. I would never send these around to people. I would never make people find out about your past. I would he's doing the exact opposite of what he's saying. That's how he skirts the law and gets away with this stuff. He's done it for years.
What has the impact on you been like with all this?
Oh my God. I mean, I know, just because we talk almost every day, but it's to have these people say that I deserve this, that I wanted to be in the spotlight, that I wanted the attention, that I like this, that I enjoy. No, the complete opposite. I never wanted any of this. I had nothing to gain. I had everything to lose. What do you think I had to gain by going up against this person who has made a career out of shaming and humiliating and destroying people's lives? Did people think that I didn't know all of my past was going to come up? Did they think that I didn't think he was going to come after my kids and anybody I care? Of course I knew. Trust me, there was nothing that I thought good would come out of this. I knew this was going to be a shitstorm, and I knew that my life was essentially over. And I mean, look at it. I mean, he's had people calling the owners of my building, calling the board of nursing, calling my children's schools, calling DCF. it's constant stress, constant anxiety, constant depression and hopelessness. It's disgusting. And he gets off on it. And he probably is watching this going, yes, like, you know, thinking this is, he loves the power. He loves the control. That's why I don't even like to talk about how it's affected me, because I don't even want to give him that satisfaction, but it's disgusting. I mean, because I went on Twisted's thing the other night, and I'm on here now, and I'm not sobbing and crying and having a panic, but you don't see me in that. Well, you see me.
I do. Yeah.
You all don't see me in the privacy of my home when it's all happening, when it's, you know, it's every day you wake up and it's something new. He just cannot leave me alone. Everybody's saying she just needs to move on. She needs, like, all his stupid followers. Why doesn't she just move on? Don't you think I want to move on? Don't you think? I mean, every single day he cannot not mention me. He's told his story about me 1,000 times and keeps saying, I haven't even told you guys the whole thing yet. Every day he's mentioning my name. Just in the 60 days alone he was in jail. Just in his blogs alone mentioned my name 92 times. That's not including social media. That's not including his show, you know, and when he's been out of jail, the more that he's talked about me and the lies that he's said is saying, oh, I've seen her do so many drugs, or when I've been clean for many years, when, you know, saying that my kids, it's the worst abuse and neglect I've ever seen. I mean, you've been to my house numerous times, Gabe.
I've said a million times, and like, I honestly have absolutely no reason to lie or vouch for anyone, right? Like, her house is always clean. Her kids are always fed. They're clothed. They're clean. They're wonderful kids. I adore them. I really enjoy spending time with them. They're intelligent, good, happy kids. And, you know, I think that people aren't reality testing that with the fact that you guys dated for what, 3 months?
3 months. Yeah.
3 months. He barely saw your kids, right? You know, just in passing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't an issue until you dumped him. So.
Right. And I actually have multiple messages from him where he's saying, complimented me as a mother. I don't know how you do it. You know, I mean, he would see I only saw him on Friday nights. Normally after the kids were in bed, if we would go out, I'd have a sitter and I'd meet him outside. He wouldn't even come in. Right. Or if he came here Friday nights after the kids were in bed, so the kids would not see him. If he stayed the night Fridays, they may have saw him in passing as he was walking out the door in the morning at 6 a.m. if they were awake yet. I think there was only a couple times when they were awake and just saw like a shadow walking to the door and leaving. But yeah, didn't spend any time with, but would compliment me nonetheless throughout the course of these 3 months. I don't know how you do it, because I would always be with I'm always, aside from when they're in school, I'm their only caretaker. I'm the only one they have. I'm always with my kids. I hadn't even, the past 6 years I was in the relationship, I wasn't even allowed to go out or do anything. My kids are my life. My world revolves around them. So to call me about just Machado, you don't know anything of, you know, you read documents from years ago, which by the way are affidavits, which by the way, you are saying that there's no truth to these affidavits, that anybody can make up anything, but then it's true when you want it to be true. Okay.
And I think, like, you know, not for nothing, but it's not a very well kept secret at this point that Aiden Carney uses drugs. He's admitted to people that he is buying Adderall off the street. He clearly abuses it. He's had a cold for 5 years now, constant sniffles. Like, everyone who's been out in the world and knows a thing or two about it. Yeah. But knows that, you know, that these are signs of drug abuse. So for him to malign Lindsay because she has a drug history that was not an issue enough to prevent him from dating this woman to begin with, or maintaining a relationship, or love bombing her and telling her, I love you, you're the sexiest woman in the world, you're the smartest woman I've ever been, you're wonderful, you're wonderful, you're wonderful. She was wonderful until she didn't want him anymore. And then this starts. And I think that that's really, I know that this term narcissism gets thrown around the internet a lot, and I don't really like that, but I think in this case it's accurate, right? Place the person on a pedestal. The narcissist places, you know, their person on a pedestal until things aren't going their way, and then they completely devalue them. There's nowhere in the middle. If Aiden was not a narcissist, if he was an honest, decent person that didn't have this flagrant personality disorder, then he would be able to handle a breakup like this appropriately, right? I cheated on my wife with this woman. I wasn't honest with her about it. It didn't work out, maybe because, I wasn't honest about it. And there were things that I liked about her, and I'm hurt and I'm trying to move on. That would be the appropriate and honest way to deal with it. But that's not how he deals with it, right?
It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. Cult.
It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. Yeah, I know.
It's 100% a goddamn cult. Aiden is the guru sitting on the chair handing out the information. Then he's got a couple of people in saffron robes that are handling the day-to-day run of the minions under him. If you apply his organization to the BITE model, look up the BITE model to his organization, you'll find a lot of overlap between cult-like behaviors and the way the turtle group acts. They're pretty close to Scientology in the way they come at people. If you step out of lockstep with them, they send the turtle busters after you. They've done it to Twisted. They've done it to Lindsay. They did it to LG. They've done it to dozens of other people that you can find who wised up to what was going on, stepped away, and found their lives character assassinated for 1, 2, 3 years. Some people have moved to other states and they still manage to find them and start putting bad reviews on their jobs or calling their new boyfriends or trying to get them kicked out of the houses they're renting. This is dangerous stuff, and he's gotten away with it because nobody's willing to tangle with him.
I just want to point out right now that I know that she walked away because she's dealing with one of her kids right now. So, I mean, like the fact that this woman's parenting is being so attacked when no one lives in her home. And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but you can have a difficult time in your life, and that doesn't have to be your existence for the rest of your world. One thing that really is starting to grate on me about the turtle cult, and I know I've been subject to it for a long time now, right? I deal with it because I probably have psychological issues that just make me go like, I deserve this. But when I see it happen to other people, it upsets me a lot. Your lowest moment in life doesn't define you as a person forever. Aiden takes just the worst moment in someone's life that he can drag up, and he says, this is who this person is forever, and there's nothing they can do to change it. And that's just absolutely not true. Were that true, then we would look at Aiden right now and go, okay, this guy is a witness intimidating, malignant narcissist, woman abuser who uses drugs and abandoned his family, and this is who he is for the rest of his life, and he will never get better. And I don't know for sure, but I suspect that he would not appreciate that very much. Most people would not. But he has no problem doing that to other people. And that's not okay. And I think anyone who's followed this channel over the last 4 years that we've been here knows that I get into some very heated battles with personalities like Josh Abrams or Glenn Serio or Chili DeCastro, of course, Chili DeCastro, or Keffels, or Cyrax. Well, Cyrax is like a whole different ball of wax, but you know what I mean? Like, I can still be human to these people because they are human. We know at this point, my daughter puppy sat for Josh Abrams at one point, right? Even though don't agree with everything he does, because you have to understand, not just online, but offline in your everyday life too. People's worst moments don't define who they are forever. And if you want to do that to people, what you're doing is inherently abusive. Yeah.
Hi, Boomer.
Hello, my homies.
Hello, friend.
Yeah. Yeah, see?
Actually, I do know that. We know for a fact, I mean, Lindsay and I in particular know intimately how difficult it is to find a lawyer that will go up against Aiden right now. And that's really unfortunate because it's that real bully syndrome. If everybody came together and said, this guy doesn't have power anymore,
Right.
all that power is gone. Like, people are handing it to him through fear. There's nothing to fear. He's a 5'2" dick-nosed midget with a tiny red dick that like beats on women. Are you really afraid of that? Who's afraid of that? These judges, these prosecutors, these lawyers, these cops, everybody who's afraid of him. Like, there's no reason. What is this the worst this guy's going to do? He's going to sit in, well, no longer his wife's basement because he's been dismissed from there, but he's going to sit in whatever girlfriend's fucking living room he's seeing that day and rage type out a hit piece on somebody on his stupid live journal. Who gives a fuck at some point? People have to stand up. This is not okay.
I know. And I think he thought, oh, sorry, Boomer, go ahead. You haven't talked yet. Go ahead.
No worries. I was just going to say, again, I'm just seeing more parallels with like a low T Freddy Krueger. You know, if you don't believe in me, can't write the gossip column. You know, like he doesn't have power outside of, you know, making fun of your shoes and shit, you know. And he'll go after kids too, right?
Yeah. What was he calling JLR? Prison shoes? He just kept calling him prison shoes over and over again.
No, prison boy.
Prison
boy. No, he was making fun of whatever brand shoes he was wearing.
Oh yeah.
Walmart shoes, prison boy. Ran away from him and then got on his live stream later and went, I could have kicked his ass. Yeah, I would have beat his ass. Like, no, dude, you're not beating anybody's ass. Just stop that. But I think his current behavior is because somewhere deep in his little reptile brain, he realizes that if Karen Read is convicted, not only is he legally screwed, but socially he's screwed as well, because he has put his name, his reputation, and everything about his blog behind her being factually innocent. If she is not,
he's legally screwed.
Oh yeah, no. But I don't think he cares.
Is so weak that they could. It's not even admissible. Like the judge did not allow. Like he cannot go in and. I mean, I shouldn't say he. I'm sorry. The defense cannot go in and individually blame these people as a third party culprit. That's how weak the evidence is. He's legally fucked. Like, I mean, when the lawsuits hit, it's going to be devastating. If I were his wife, I would be signing the divorce papers as fast as I can, let him go off with whatever whore of the week he wants to go with, right? And move on before you get sucked in to his lawsuits, because it's going to also
get the assets divided real quick.
Yeah. And the child support order.
But what I was leaning toward was, if this fails, he's going to lose a huge swath of the people that are currently following him. And that's the wave he's been riding on. His viewership, tripled, quadrupled, jumped 10 times with this story. If he's wrong about it, those people are all going the other way. He may get a few stringers, holdouts that still believe in the grand conspiracy and that this is all a travesty. The majority of people are they're going to slink away. They're going to delete their accounts because nobody wants to admit they were wrong. So the accounts are just going to disappear and they're going to fade back into the woodwork. And when he's now getting 3,000 people watching, he's going to be back to 300.
Right. So I am noticing some things in here, and I just want to point out, and I think I said this at the beginning of the stream, I'm going to say it again. If you have questions for my friend Lindsay, particularly if they're nasty, fuck you, pay her. Okay. You can pay for a super chat and you'll get acknowledged that way. Otherwise, I literally don't give a fuck what you have to say. So like, if you want to make your little side comments and you want them acknowledged, then you're going to have to pay to do that. And it's going into her pocket because my friend is a single mom. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
I think though I should address though because I know Aiden has made this comment multiple times that I only started believing Karen is guilty because we ended. I think I should address that because that is obviously, Kate, you know that's not the case because when I had reached out to you prior to us breaking up or not, I don't know if it was you or one of your friends.
Yeah.
But I started having a lot of doubts about her innocence early on, especially I think the first thing that struck me as weird was when at the Halloween party, when I spent the majority of the party talking to Richie, aka Microdots, Richie Keogh from Quincy, who I went up to him and Aiden had already told me that he was Microdots. So I remember going up to him and saying, Richie, oh my God, I love your videos. Like, they're so amazing. And he was like, shh, nobody's supposed to know. And I'm like, I didn't know that was a secret. Sorry. So he ended up coming and talking to me for the majority of the party and is telling me being forthcoming with information. I wasn't even asking, telling me that Alan Jackson had called him and asked him to make these videos for Karen's defense team, her defense, they're like propaganda videos and put him on the payroll. He told me he was being paid. He was on the payroll for her defense. So that I thought was a little odd because then I'm thinking, I know Aiden. I know that there's no way in hell that Richie's getting paid and Aiden's not getting paid. So I started having these thoughts in the back of my mind and just kind of tucked that bit of information in my back pocket. And then there were just things throughout that started striking me as weird. Like, he would tell me that Karen was very much involved in these Facebook group, in the justice groups, and that she had final say on what he would talk about during his shows, that she was very controlling, that he had to run everything by her. And controlling was actually the word that he used to describe her. That was not anything that came out of, and I was the fact that he says I hated Karen and I was jealous of her. No, if you go back and see the messages throughout, like, the beginning part of our entire, like, I mean, I was very supportive, you know, oh, I feel so bad for Karen. I can't imagine all the stress she's going through with all these health problems and this and that. And until I started putting things together for myself, and things weren't adding up, and I just thought things were very weird. When I saw her interview, and she made the comment about seeing him go up to the door, and her story was changing, and it just all struck me as very odd. And then knowing that he had gone out to dinner with her and her attorneys and Matt Gutman, and the messages from him about Josh Levy wanting no one to find out that he had been speaking to Karen and her attorneys, and asking if there's any way her trial could be delayed. And then there was the comment that Bradel made when we went out to get drinks at Fusion, and after his court date, one of his court dates, where he mentions that he has this buddy that he ran into at the courthouse while he was picking up paperwork, and that buddy told him that he had knowledge of inadmissible evidence that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Karen is 100% guilty. And those were Bradel's exact words. So, yeah, and Aiden, his response to that was very odd. I thought, got very angry and tried to talk over him and switch the subject really fast. And Bradel was a few drinks deep at that point. I don't think he understood that he was breaking his attorney-client privilege by talking about Aiden's case right there with me and Ricky sitting there. Also Aiden asked, so if they find the recordings of me, if they find the recordings of me recording Lucky Loughran without his knowledge or permission, or can they use that against me since it's not on the search warrant? And Bradel kind of shrugging his shoulders like, I mean, and when so just telling me about that alone, when he described to me Lucky Loughran, and I asked him, are you worried? I mean, you recorded this guy without him knowing, and they have your phones now. Aren't you worried? And he said, well, it'll come down to my word versus his. How are they to know that I didn't tell him I was going to record him? My viewers are so stupid. He said, I told them I have a photographic memory. These idiots just believe it. If you heard the way that he talks about his
I know. I have texts back when I used to write for him. He would say all the time, our readers are stupid. Our readers are poor. They don't pay for anything. They're so dumb. And I honestly thought that I agree with him in that regard, that I do think that his readers are stupid to believe that he transcribed a phone call with Lucky Loughran based on his purported photographic memory, when this is the same man who can't remember the same lie that he told twice, right? Are you kidding me?
Right. And this wasn't the first time that he's been engaging in this wiretap. I mean, who is Steve Scanlon, and he stupidly posted or shared that. I don't know.
Right. Both Lucky Loughran and Steve Scanlon, he stupidly shared with people. It went back to me. Again, when we're looking at the criminal charges that he's trying to stick me with, we're looking at the HPO, this is all clear retaliation, right? Because that's one instance where I was sent these recordings, and instead of putting them on my YouTube channel, which I'm pretty sure is a crime, you can't disseminate a wiretapped phone call, I sent it to the police, right? So, I mean, there's no question. I have in my possession both the Lucky Loughran and Steve Scanlon wiretapped phone calls. And I mean, if it comes down to Lucky Loughran's word over Aiden Carney's word, Aiden Carney has multiple court decisions where the court takes note that Aiden Carney is not credible. Aiden Carney has taken out criminal charges on people that they have been acquitted of because he is such a prolific liar that he lies under oath on the stand, right? So I mean, 100 times over, anyone should believe Lucky Loughran over Aiden Carney. And Lucky Loughran clearly states, on multiple occasions, I did not know I was being recorded, nor did Steve Scanlon, nor did you at your apartment when he abused you, battered you, and then ran off into the night.
Right. I mean, I don't know how his people don't see that this is a pattern of behavior that has gone on for a very long time. This is not anything new. And the thing is, he hasn't even perfected his craft. He's so stupid enough that he sends this as a way of bragging. I've supposedly sent the illegally record, and it wasn't just, oh, trust me, we know about your other recordings of me that you claim are voicemails or were actually phone calls that I had no idea. But he sends them to dozens and dozens of people and thinks that nobody's going to turn on him, just like wasn't it a group chat or something where somebody sold him out? He does.
Oh, with the recordings of you? Yeah, it was, unfortunately, he is aware of the person that provided those recordings, and then I sent them to the police, and he's threatened to retaliate against that person too. I mean, that's the thing that yes, Valerie, thank you. You can hear the phone rustling in his pocket. When you actually see, and again, I didn't disseminate the actual recording. Not that, not that I'm hiding anything, because Lindsay didn't do anything wrong, but I'm not, it's a crime. But like when you actually see the full recording of what he took versus what he altered, not only can you hear the phone rustling in his pocket, you can literally see him put the phone in his fucking pocket.
Yep. Sure
I don't agree with Aiden a lot, but in this case, I will agree with him. Most of his followers are dumb as fuck in regards to that recording. I've had people argue with me on Twitter and say, no, his is the real one. The one without his audio in it has been edited to make him look bad. People actually believe that.
Looks bad all on his own. There's a lot of his dumb motherfuckers in this chat here. Somebody who keeps on talking about how somebody's turning tricks in their apartment and this, that, and the third. It's like, so does your mother, but you still love her.
Rent's expensive here. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
The turtle people still don't realize, like, you have no power here. Right?
No, we don't give a fuck what you say.
We've got about 2,400 people watching right now. You are in the minority. Everyone here thinks that you're a bitch and an idiot.
You got an 81 IQ.
Right. No one's impressed here. Like, but the difference between here and Turtleboy Live is that you are free to spread your vitriol all you want. We will not block you for it. We will allow these abusive comments because
I might block you for
no one cares, right? Like, you will never be censored here. Well, I shouldn't say never. There are lines.
I'm a rogue mod. Right. You might get popped.
Well, yeah, we have a couple in there, right? Like, yeah. J2K 1980. Like, no one's mad.
All facts, pigs. Oh my God! How do you sleep on your air mattress at night, sir?
Right.
That
Susie,
sounds like
sober up, honey.
Why don't you panel up, J2K 1980? You fucking
because it's
Susie. I'm only allowing this.
Kate,
she's too young.
Listen. You know how it is. Come up and, like, I'm saying, like, turn on your camera, say this shit to our faces. I know that you won't, but I'm throwing it out there so you can.
Right. He'll scream too loud and wake his parents up. And you know his mom's turning tricks in the other room and it's going to scare the dates. He can't.
J2K 1980, I don't want to negatively impact your mother's enterprise. Okay, so I am just saying, and I am accurate. I'm sure that I am accurate in my projection here, that you do not have the cojones to cam up and say this metaphorically to our faces, right? Because you're not actually face to face. You would never do that. Actually, Lindsay and I were talking, were we not, about how we're going to start proving this.
Bro, you don't even need to put your teeth in first. It's fine. We accept all types.
Nah, the dates prefer when you don't.
You said dude's mom's rolling out discount handies? That's
yeah.
rough.
We're not the ones, motherfucker. Like, where do you think you are right now? Where do you think you are?
I could. This is what I do.
Always
listen,
handing your mom
Valerie,
the
we're not
pickle
putting
jar.
Lindsay
She got
on the
strong
spot.
wrist,
She's
huh?
well protected here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of us to protect her from
And really, you don't even need it because I mean, you fire up an Italian woman, God be with you in your soul.
Hey, Satan in the chat, interesting name, says that Kate's kind of sounding like Aiden right now. Here's the difference. We will roast this guy or girl who's sitting in chat, throwing bombs and trying to be as hurtful as that person can with their words. We will not dig up their family records and put them on a blog. We will not call their job. We will not call their family. We will not go stand outside of their house with a bullhorn. So
No,
if you jump in a YouTube chat, Melanie Little, if you jump in a YouTube chat, you open yourself to getting roasted. That's how this works. You can't then turn around and cry and say, I'm going to sue everybody who has an unfavorable opinion of my bizarre shorting out Stepford Wife live stream. That's just.
And also, Satan, I would like to point out, I love that. Also, Satan.
I know.
And
we haven't spoken in a while.
We have
another stark contrast between myself and the man, the 43-year-old man that calls himself Turtleboy, is that I literally mean it. Like there is nothing that I will not say on the internet that I will not say to your face, right? Like, and I know that these people won't. So this is an interesting thing. I know poor Lindsay. She's got a 2-year-old daughter who's like the sweetest thing in the world. We love her. Well, we really love her 5-year-old the most, right?
Yeah, that's my boy.
He's
I wanted to clear up for a second. I'm not accusing Melanie Little of being in our chat over here, but last week she short-circuited and fried a main board and started making weird, bizarre robot faces and freaking out on her live stream while threatening to sue everyone that has a negative opinion of her. She's an attorney in New York, and she can sue everyone anywhere in the country who is a nameless troll, and she's gonna do it. So
she's gonna do it.
I'll have you know that she's a top-tier actress.
She's that cool.
My point was that poor Lindsay, her 2-year-old, has been like crazy about sleep, and she's being a mom, so don't criticize her for that. But so the other day there was a little snafu. This is something that we may have to enlist people's help with at some point, because the witness intimidation is clearly out of control, but this is what we can surmise. So Lindsay, seeing as she has nothing to hide with this case, there is no conspiracy to get Turtleboy's bail revoked. Like, that whole thing is crazy. Gave over her phone to the police, right? And they took an extraction, and I can vouch because I was there and witnessed this conversation. She was told that your extraction is only for what pertinent to this case. This will go through a taint team just like it would for the criminal defendant. They're saying this to the victim witness here. And your personal information will be protected. This criminal defendant, who is your abuser, will never get any of your personal information or anything that's not pertinent to the case. Well, big psych there, because they handed over her entire phone extraction to her abuser, right? As well as this was done to another witness, who, again, these are victim witnesses. They are accused of no crimes. They have done nothing wrong. So it was handed over, and now Aiden has access to these women's entire phone extraction.
Their lives.
Lives, really. Yeah, it's more. Your phone is more intimate than your vagina these days, really. So he has access to this and immediately starts publishing and disseminating stuff. So the special prosecutor, I don't even want to say to his credit, but whatever, to his credit, I guess. Immediately when he realizes what has happened, emails Aiden's attorney and says, "Look, that was sent to you by mistake. Destroy it. Send it back. You weren't supposed to have that." Aiden's attorney, because he's a drunken piece of shit, just like Aiden is, tells the special prosecutor, "Fuck you, not going to do it." So the special prosecutor says, "Listen, if your client, being Aiden, disseminates any of these materials, it is going to be considered witness intimidation. Don't do it." So what does Aiden do? Drum roll, please. He disseminates all of it, right? That's what he does. So as a byproduct of this, Lindsay's phone number gets out and my phone number gets out because we text a lot or whatever. Can't find us texting about any conspiracy to violate Aiden on his bail, though, because it doesn't fucking exist. Never happened. But regardless, phone numbers get out. So I got a few, kind of abusive texts and some phone calls. I would answer like, hello, they'd hang right up. Fucking pussies. So I would call the numbers back and be like, let's talk on the phone, right? I don't know if you'll be shocked or not, but guess how many people wanted to talk on the phone?
None.
With 0. Yeah.
0.
Mhm.
Yeah. 0, amigos, 0. Right. And I think it's funny because they'll send me like a million abusive texts, like you're a fat pig, you're going to jail, I hope you kill yourself, you're disgusting, your daughter's a hooker, whatever they want to say, right? Because they love talking about kids in sexual positions.
It's a pattern.
I am 75% convinced that the Turtleboy army is just like a covert pedophile ring at this point. They all talk about sex. Even J2K 1980. Are you 40? Is that why it's 1980 J2K? Because you're 40. You're 40 years old doing this. J2K 1980 right here. This guy. Let's look at him. This guy has already talked about sexual things with children. Is J2K 1980 a pedophile? I don't know for certain, but it's
leaning towards it. Also, I wanted to address him also by saying Tully sold out Lindsay. Big facts. Tully is trying to save himself from what's coming. So hold on, homeboy. Let's just break this down really quick. When it's Tully, you want to laugh at that. But don't you remember, was it not Bradle who was a prosecutor that specifically held information and got somebody convicted by holding back this evidence? And then they got it overturned. And that was a huge deal.
Guy got a nice settlement from the state.
Okay. But that's okay. When he was a prosecutor for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that's totally cool. We're gonna fucking ignore that when he was a prosecutor. But you want to point out something like this that you don't have facts to support. You're just speculating. Like, you look mad stupid right now. Like, the fact that you're 44 years old and this is what you're doing with your time, just spouting off ugly shit, tells us everything about you. Is that I'm going to assume you're a dude and you're topping out at 5'5" and you cry after sex probably. So get fucked.
Are you saying it's Tom CPU?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't say like to fuck kids.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought someone said that earlier. I was just trying.
But I promise you that you also probably have just as much of a shitty haircut as Tom CPU does.
So when I'm out here in the cold, bro, I wear a diaper, bud. And so when I get really cold, I let a little pee go, and then it warms me up. It warms me up, bud. And then when I get cold again, a little more pee go.
Don't make me mad. Your existence offends me slightly. I'm just gonna be honest. You're a pussy. I mean, I can't. With all these turtle cultists, you're all giant bleeding vaginas. I have no respect for you. I enjoy that you hate me because your opinions mean nothing. And it's like,
I'm loving the fat girl energy. Boy, you wouldn't even be able to smell my seat when I stood up, motherfucker. I promise you got the equipment.
Suddenly get here. That fucking
you ain't got the equipment to fucking handle this.
What?
Oh boy, you don't have a seat at the table.
Shadow a fat fucking cow with jacked up teeth. That's what she is. She could call me that too. It would be half true.
I'm loving the fat girl energy. You are a whole fat bitch. You ever thought about that?
I'm sorry. Just can we big up Piper?
That's a
Tom CPU got munchkin bangs. All right.
He does. He's got space pants hair.
Oh, that's great.
2,500 people watching this bullshit right now. But
yeah, pretty much. Us just like round table shit talking.
I don't even know what's wrong with you people. I love you, but there's something wrong with you.
I'm carefully ignoring Naven's trick question in the chat.
What
I generally don't impersonate women, Naven. That's my out.
Aiden does.
Oh yeah.
I'm confused. Who is this lady? It's Aiden. Aiden Carney is that lady. To answer any question.
I know we usually save super chats to the end. I'm going to do them shortly because we're like an hour and a half in, and like I know most people here have kids that have to get to school in the morning, but no, Alexis, they never panel up.
No.
It never happens.
They just sit and chat under a fake account, and they run their mouth. And if
Right.
you if Satan's been around for a while, if he knows that I do Nevea, okay.
Satan's been around for a while. Yeah, I'll say.
Okay.
Remember
all right,
when
Satan.
Saint Michael stomped you to hell? That was sick.
That one of the funny things on Twitter is if you have nothing better to do with your life than argue with Code Stink on Twitter, which I do, or I don't technically. I do argue. I don't have anything better to do. You'll see that somebody will sit there and argue with you for 20 minutes and then they'll be quiet and then you'll get a notification that another account has liked those 20 posts and then they start arguing with you. Then they go quiet for a while and then somebody else comes on and likes those 40 posts. So it's one person running through multiple accounts, repeating the same thing in each account. They have their marching orders and that's what they say.
Good night, Gia. Yeah,
No.
I mean, Twitter is one of those things. I usually like kind of carpet bomb Twitter. I'll put up like incendiary posts and then I'll just walk away for a few days and come back and yeah. Alma Joy, I just want to be clear on this. Like, we're not necessarily pro Tully here. Like, it's at some point we need to really face this head on and realize that Aiden Carney is a monster who is trying to subvert the justice system and is victimizing multiple innocent parties on a nearly perpetual basis. And the police have been intimidated into halting, or slowing down their response or refusing to respond at all. I'm not having that. I have spent the last probably 6 years of my online existence very critical of First Amendment auditors, but I am days away from my first audit. Because I am going to go to these police stations and I am going to ask for answers as to why they are not protecting these people. And I will be filming when I do it. And, if I don't get the answers that I feel like are satisfactory, then those videos will go up on the internet and we can all talk about it, because this is unacceptable. At the end of the day, the police's main function here is to enforce the laws and protect and serve, right? That is what they are supposed to do. They are not doing that here. They are not doing that here. He is harassing witnesses on a daily basis. He is causing wreckage and stress and emotional distress and constant fear in these people. And he is not being held accountable. And that is not okay. So if I need to go down to the police station and film them and get some answers that way, as much as I have been morally opposed in the past, I am a morally flexible person and we can change that.
Well, when you hear that the police are also like, I've been told by the police that they are also being Aiden puts their names out there. They get harassed. They get all the supporters start friend requesting them, sending them messages. This is his mode of control that he uses, his power that he uses on people and just like we discussed earlier with the attorneys, how nobody wants to touch. He thinks that Mello was the 12th pick because no other prosecutor believed that there was evidence to charge him, or believed that or knew that this was all a setup. No, it's because of your incessant harassment of people, that anybody that gets involved. I mean, this poor woman, this poor firefighter that had no interest in any of that. She was just doing her job, and now you've plastered her face everywhere and coined her as a liar. And it's disgusting. And like you said, if people just started having the guts to stand up to him and saying enough is enough, then he loses his power. So I don't know, these cops that don't want it, that are scared. Sorry, this is your job. This is what you signed up for.
Right. And they need to have their feet held to the fire. Yeah. Oh, this is an easy question, Alma Joy. How did Lindsay get Mello's number from me? Is that the bombshell you were hoping for?
That's fucking blown.
For the 45th time, Almond Joy, you fucking idiot. All of you idiots. I will reiterate. I started looking into this because a member of John O'Keefe's family contacted me. I wanted to help. Okay. All right. So when I started looking into this, I became aware of information that I did not find was appropriate to put on YouTube, and I did find was more appropriate to put in the hands of law enforcement. As a consolation prize for my efforts, I am now being drugged through the criminal justice system myself by a man who has explicitly told multiple people, including publicly on a live stream, that he is just calling the police on me and reporting these bogus charges because he thinks it will cease the prosecution against him, which I can assure you will not, because I am not the driving factor behind the prosecution. I am not the prosecution. I am not the police, but I was given information that I felt was better suited to, with the authorities. Lindsay was part of that. And obviously I was right, because it resulted in part anyway, it contributed to indictments and a search warrant. I don't understand how this is so confusing for you people.
Yeah, and I'm fucking pissed. Almond joys are fucking delicious. How dare you?
Right? How dare you?
I think I get why they don't get it. Do you really think a turtle rider would understand the concept of holding information that would be best served with the justice system rather than using it for clicks and views because you care about people more than your fucking self or your stupid ass blog?
Exactly. I don't care about my stupid YouTube channel that much, guys.
Your fucking live journal with a bunch of shitty ads on it.
Yeah.
I love you
100
all.
pop-up
You're my
ads.
friend, but I don't
100
really care
pop-up ads, man. My phone will not access Turtleboy's blog because my browser chokes on the 100 pop-up ads that are loaded on the front page. I can't believe people are actually seeing it. That's why people buy the stupid Turtle Club, I think, so they can actually see the articles, which are as bad as any AI written garbage on the Disney sites. But it's just, it's like, seriously, this is what people are calling an award-winning journalist? Oh, well, I'm sorry. This is what he's calling an award-winning journalist? Yeah. No, dude, you're a bad mommy blogger. You're a bad mommy blogger.
No one was being harassed. Yo, you are literally like probably clinically retarded.
I mean, Almond Joy, with all due respect, this has gone in front of like 4 different judges, and they've all affirmed that there is a probable cause. There's 5 different judges that have put in their decisions or memorandums on various issues that the harassment and intimidation in the Karen Reed case is a huge prevalent issue. You prove it every day that you do dumb shit like issue death threats to witnesses that just testified, or Lindsay, what she's
I got a better one. Almond Joy, if you think there's no harassment, throw your address in chat. We'll get 100, 200 people, and I'll grab a bullhorn, and we'll come out and stand in front of your house and yell at you through a bullhorn and yell bad things about you to your neighbors.
Yeah, it's not intimidation, guys. Right? So let's circle the fucking wagons and head to the trailer park that Almond Joy lives in.
Hi, Kay. Nice to see you. Yeah, so it's not a restraining order. It's a harassment prevention order. Aiden Carney does have one on me because I challenged him to fight, and it scared him. Okay. I can talk about anyone that I want. I just can't talk to him, which I have no desire to do. Unfortunately, he continues to show that he has a desire to talk to me because I've had to block like 10 fucking Twitter accounts because he won't stop replying to my tweets. I will put this in the Dropbox. If you guys give me 12 hours to put everything together, Lindsay and I will put everything together, and you can see anything that we say, we can back up. Yeah. It's not the same for him.
No.
And Valerie Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
I was just going to address Valerie Handmade with a Heart. She wondered who wrote the article that Aiden won the award for. It was Worcester Best Local blog from the Worcester magazine or whatever. And basically what he did.
Cool guy alert.
Worcester. Sorry.
Worcester.
Yeah, there we go.
Worcestershire. Whatever. Fuck off.
Hi, Nelly.
You people with your weird place names.
From the internet,
everybody say hi to Natalie. She's our friend too.
Hey, Nat. Anyway, he had
home skillet.
He had all his followers cook up fake accounts and vote for him in the online poll, and he won. And he was such a chicken shit that he sent Brett to pick the award up because he was still anonymous because he knew the shit he says runs a risk when you run your mouth like that. It runs a risk of backlash. So he sent Brett to pick it up for him. So technically, Brett is the award-winning journalist since he collected the award.
We all can agree with that also because Brett is pretty fucking rad.
Dude, You got an award from the Penny Saver for a blog.
Right.
Exactly.
Award
That
winning.
sucks. Don't be proud of that shit. I'm sorry for all the people who are cool that won that, but like, don't be too proud about it either.
At the
Probably
Penny
did cooler shit than
Saver.
that.
Mike, we actually
Yeah.
do. We have a folder. I mean, it is absurd the amount of documentation that we have at this point. I mean,
Yo.
literally, I just got contacted by a media outlet, as did Lindsay actually, and like the person I had spoke to made a comment about how we have an encyclopedia of shit on this guy. Unbelievable. But we have that on everybody too, right? If you guys remember Chili Watch and all that, it's just sort of what we do. We archive, we public records request, like, you know, it's there.
We tell fart jokes.
We sometimes
We're very mature people.
Yes.
We rate level of highness based on Willie Nelson's.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
13 out of 10.
13.
I really
Okay.
appreciate the level of support that Lindsay is getting in chat, guys. Thank you so much. Like, she is like, I think that everybody knows about me at this point, that I'm not like, you know, like the friends type of person, but like Lindsay is legitimately my friend at this point. She's an intelligent, strong, smart woman. I really enjoy her company. I think that you guys will too. The more that she comes on, she's great, right? She does not deserve anything that's happening. And if there's any sort of like silver lining in this horrible storm cloud, it's that at least she, you know, this brought her to us and us to her, right? Which is like, you know, you're great. I'm glad that
It's like a Hallmark movie from hell.
Yeah.
No, for real, because
No,
yeah,
and I want to say too that I know everybody tries to villainize Kate, but I mean, and I don't want to get all. This is not the place to get snappy, but I wouldn't have been able to get through all this if it wasn't for you, and all of you, and that are on panel right now. You guys have been amazing, but that's kind of what we've had to grasp onto is just the friendships that we've formed out of this. Like, unfortunately, when you're getting so many people have been victimized by this monster, this narcissistic sociopath. That's why, like, it's not people that band together to try to set him up. It's people that band together because they have gone through similar shit, and he's done the same thing to people over and over and over again. And you need, if you haven't gone through it yourself, you can't understand. You can't even begin to understand. And you even telling somebody like about it that's on the outside, you sound like a crazy person, because it's like, there's no way this is real life. There's no way that a person exists like this in real life. Oh, but he does.
Right. All 5'6" of them. It's
no,
wild.
it's 5'2".
Very generous.
5'2".
Oh shit.
Don't forget it. It's been immortalized.
And everybody stop responding to Almond Joy, and just instead of responding to them, encourage them, drop your phone number. We can talk about this.
or come up on panel. I've already dropped the link.
Yeah. Drop your
drop it again.
address, drop your phone number, or come on panel. Don't engage them otherwise. You know, they've drank the Kool-Aid, or they're so drunk that they don't know what they're saying. It's one of the two. But just don't engage them.
I'm going to address Almond Joy for a second. You say that Kate's whole life is about Aiden. Let me just point out that since Aiden has said that he wants nothing to do with Krusty, just wants to walk away from this, he's mentioned her on every single blog, and something like 183 times. Since we have looked at the transcripts of his live streams, and not even all of them, but going back maybe a year and a half, he said her name 700 times. 700 times. So whose life is all about whose?
I don't give a shit either way. Like, if you ask Chili DeCastro, I'm obsessed with him. If you ask Glenn Serio, I'm obsessed with him. If you ask Josh Abrams, we're friends now, but at one point he would say I was obsessed with him. We're not friends, we're friendly. But I haven't talked to him in a long time. If you ask Furry Potato, you know, I was obsessed with it.
Oh, you're not going to ask Furry anything. Furry's in prison.
I'm sorry, Furry's in prison
shit.
before it went to prison. I'm sorry, I'm being hateful. Before she went to prison. Wait, isn't Furry he again, or am I?
I think Furry opted to be incarcerated as a male. Yes, so we can go back to he.
So if you ask Furry, then I am obsessed with him. However, he is the one who spent 3 trips coming from California to Massachusetts to lurk outside my house and my place of work at the time. Yes, Almond Joy. If you actually look, I don't know, who do you think I have the most videos on my channel? I think it's a toss up between Chili and Cyrax right now.
Yeah. And whenever we hang out, we're just busy goofing off. We don't fucking talk about Aiden. Fuck we gonna talk about him for?
I mean, right now, because he's a train wreck, honestly. He's a fucking hilarious train wreck. We could probably do another video, honestly. He got butthurt because he's not allowed in court because Karen Reed doesn't want to be seen in public with him. Wonder why. He's afraid of Chevy Silverados and women fighting in parking lots. Like,
Is Josh Abrams the court TV guy? No, he's not. Josh Abrams is not the court TV guy, but I love that.
I think that later on tonight, I might actually go into Discord. I might drop Aiden Cardi's drug dealer's phone number in my Discord if anyone wants to know that guy.
You were gonna read some super chats quick before it gets too late.
Oh yeah. No, I think Vinny Politan is a court TV guy that you're thinking of to answer. Josh Abrams.
Oh my God. Did you see Code Steak the other day trying to get selfies with Vinny and the pink gear? And he was I can't take a picture with pink stuff. People will think I'm biased. Vinny, you had your own pink tank on Court TV. We already know you're biased.
It's a little late, dude.
You told me to read super chats and then you went off on a
sorry.
Okay, so read.
All right.
Vinny Politan is from New Jersey. You can't trust a fucking word he says. That's what it said.
Scorpion Shade has been a member for 19 months. Thank you. This is one of my long-term relationships. He says, hello, Queen Kate. You look marvelous. No, you look marvelous. I just look like a human today because I put on a little makeup this morning. Kate, CC, missed you. Lindsay, welcome to Masshole. I'll welcome Lindsay to Masshole. She belongs here.
Yeah, she was born into being a masshole.
Celebrates with this super chat. Thank you so much. Mel M for $5. Welcome back, Masshole. Thank you so much. I'm trying to stream. If you guys catch us in the mornings, Lindsay, are you going to want to stream some of the court dates with us at some point?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. I'll send you links.
Might be a little late because I got to get the kids to school, but
that's all right. They go all day. Yeah. Danny has been a member for 19 months as well. Thank you so much. This is also a long-term relationship that I'm in. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I think that it is marginal at best. Michael Bowman, 39 months. Thank you so much. No, you're not old. I hope you're well. Text me. I think I saw in the chat somewhere that you asked if I've changed my number. I have not. I'm just literally terrible at responding to texts. But if you bother me, eventually I'll remember. So just never feel like it's an inconvenience. Heels in the air. We already answered that. We don't know if it's legit or not. Sarah Marie says Aiden is a foul creature. True statement. The way he systematically goes after people to harass in the most excruciating, embarrassing ways. I loathe him. Likewise, Sarah. Good to see you. So glad you're here. Michael Bowman for $20 says it's nice to see old friends still hanging in there. Love you, Kate. I love you too, Michael. I was disappointed that you couldn't make it out to Massachusetts. Polynormal Pure Purebred says, Lindsay, you are formidable. Stay strong.
Thank you.
I heard that.
Yeah. Biff Thunder Muffin for $19.99 says that Lindsay is a crazy, strong woman. Someone is calling me from Los Angeles, and I don't know who.
Thanks, Biff.
No, it's Furry.
Yeah,
I think
pick it up and just scream.
Hold on. Let me just answer this. It might be Billy Thayer. Hello?
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Hello?
Just
Billy,
scream like you're on funny.
Hello?
I sure hope it's not Billy.
Billy, is that you? All right.
Billy's
I believe
It's all been
I think it was Billy Thayer.
Never
stop. Latin Rican says she told her father that this is talking about Karen Reed. She told her father that she felt she struck something. Why didn't Karen get out to see what she struck that night? Felton struck her 2 different points of contact with her car because she drunkenly hit her boyfriend, That's about it. Shadow Warden says, share the stories, but be careful on talking about ongoing case topics. Yeah, we're going to stay, we try to stay away from all that anyway. Latin Rican says, hey, Lindsay, how long do you think it'll be before he starts calling someone else daddy?
Hopefully not very long, but this court stuff takes a while, so.
Aiden's got VD for $10.
Oh,
nice. Come on, guys. It's 10:30. I'm dying. Sorry, I am late. I have been itching and scratching with a little burning. I hope you get that cleared up.
that's terrible.
Psych Nurse for $4.99 says Academy Award winner. Thank you so much. I can't.
I can't. A
Yeah.
Award-winning journalist.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute my
Pumps if I'm
can.
lacing the couch. Meow, meow, meow.
I drive my Lexus with a booster seat.
Yeah, I've ripped lines on my own streams 3 times now. Yeah, I got a cold.
Don't put your cereal bowl there. Meow, laced it. Meow.
Aiden's got,
Come on.
Meow, meow, meow.
Aiden's got VD. Says $5. Is Aiden a 2-pump chump? You have to answer. One finger for yes, 2 for no. Do it.
I'm gonna look away.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I'm not here. I'm gonna disassociate for a minute.
I don't think any of us actually want to know the answer to
I'm
this.
on a
Please
line.
move on.
Yeah, I don't think any. Yeah, we'll see if you guys.
Billy.
The horror
Fucking
Oh,
God,
God,
Heather.
not Billy.
visual
right.
image. Yeah.
Oh. Sherry
I
D,
know.
I just flagged this one because it was nice. Thank you, Sherry D. Said Lindsay and learn to listen to the red flags. I'm still trying to learn, but always listen to your gut.
Listen, it's no secret that I have not had the greatest taste in men, and I think that I am going to remain single for a very long time, and if not forever now after this horrific.
Well, I don't like to say that we're gonna do it forever, right? But like I get you. I'm single, like
Just for right now. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Gina says.
Yeah.
Aiden is pouring
Fuck
us
that
surrounding
bitch.
him. He does live
What a-
paycheck to paycheck. Kathy Barilla, I just flagged this one because I agree he sounds dangerous. He is. Laura Rader, thank you for asking this question. Does he ever talk about his wife when he's with his girlfriends?
So he had told me that he had been separated from his wife for 6 years, that she was very well aware that he was seeing other people. He told me she was seeing other people. He said that they lived in the same house, but they had separate quarters. They were just co-parenting, so he would be able to get his kids on the bus, but she was perfectly okay with it. They were both living separate lives, and she was okay with that. And that he put her down a lot as well. He would say that she was the one that was not interested in him anymore, that she thought he was so disgusting, that she wasn't attracted to him, that she was mean to him, she would put him down all the time. He was the victim in every situation. So obviously I came to conclude that was not, like, I don't even know. I mean, there was later down the road, I found out that he let something slip about having to get back early one morning because she would find out where he was. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this wasn't a secret. So yeah, I don't know what, we all are very curious, I think, of what that situation is with his wife. And I'm conflicted because I have felt bad for her, knowing that she probably has been in the same situation where he's threatening her or holding something, the kids over her head or something, that she has felt like she hadn't been able to get away until now. And I don't know. I don't know. But he did talk about her quite a bit in not a good way.
Oh, somebody said, look at that lying slut up there. My name is Gina. Thank you.
That's
Okay.
Lisa Lynn, proud Texan, longtime Turtle Rider, and still avowed News Now Houston supporter. So just if you want to listen to her.
Supports incest and pedophilia. What
Yeah,
a
so let me just
special
hold
one.
on.
So, there
Lindsay
you go.
doesn't know. We have to catch her up on everything now that she's co-owner of Masshole. You need to understand who News Now Houston is. News Now Houston is a former First Amendment auditor. He's currently in jail. I think he's going to die there now because
20 years.
Right. So, but he's at the end of his life anyway. So in the 80s, he was convicted of a rape. He pulled over a woman while he was impersonating a police officer and then raped her, zip tied her, and then raped her at gunpoint. Lisa Lynn thinks that's fine, just like she thinks Aiden's a good guy. And then later on, recently, he was convicted to 20 years in prison because he was found guilty of molesting and raping his own daughters.
Yep.
Turtle riders are great people. Let me tell you, real good judgment.
Fuck.
Right. So polynormal purebred 4.99. Thank you, says Lindsay. We've all made bad romantic decisions. Yes, we have. You're moving forward and doing so great. You should be proud, and I think that you should.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nima. Thank you, Jackie Joe, for the $10 super sticker. James Clay says Aiden is Karen Reed's puppet. She pulls his chain and tells him what to do and say. Big facts, little aids. That is true. And, we have the proof. Ashley, hello, darling. She says, we need to start a victims fund for all of his victims. We kind of just do it as it comes. I hate fucking fundraising. I really do. I try to keep it only for emergency situations and never for myself again. James Clay said, Katie McLaughlin is a firefighter. Aiden is disgraced ex-history teacher who couldn't play real sports. She would kick his ass.
True.
He'll get a restraining order if you say that. Don't do that. Gia for $99.99. Thank you so much. Says, stay strong, Lindsay. Thank you. We appreciate that. Chris says for $5, thank you for being brave and taking this abusive asshole on, Lindsay.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, and I said this the other night too. At this point, he's showed all his cards. He's dug up every piece of dirt on me. That, and that's all in my past. It's, of course I knew or thought this would come out eventually, but years ago, I've changed. I'm not in that same place anymore. You can try to shame me for it, but I know that I'm a good mom. My kids love me. I love my kids. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about. So taking him on at this point, now it's about, doing what's right and holding him accountable for his illegal actions and the stuff that he's put people through and put me through. But, somebody's got to do it. It takes, I think, one person, and I'm not trying to say this is like, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm saying in general, it takes one person to stand up to a bully, and hopefully the rest will follow, and he will not have that power anymore. So let's hope that the justice system does its job.
One person at a time. You're totally right. Polynormal purebred for $9.99 says, no question, just more money for Lindsay. Thank you. I did tell her we were going to split this right even. So Becky Dog Lover said, you definitely don't deserve to be harassed. I'm so sorry you're going through this. This is not your fault.
Thank you.
Send Risa $9.99 super sticker. Thank you. Alexis $5 says, you seem to be a nice woman and genuinely out of his league. How did you end up with him?
God, I don't know.
We've all dated down now.
Right.
Don't shame.
Some of us more than others.
Yeah, some of us is the career, but whatever. Happy birthday, Sunshine Dragon, by the way.
Yes, it was her birthday the other day, Grandma Sunshine
happy
Dragon.
birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
We love her. David Lee for $5 says, Aiden lies so often that if he says it's going to rain, you can leave your umbrella at home. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Sakude, 13 months member. Missed you, Kate. Glad you're back streaming. I missed you too. Another one of my long-term relationships. You guys make me feel better as a human being. Alexis, we already answered that. They don't. Michael Bowman again. I did not change my phone number. Text me. I will eventually answer. Just remember, I'm dealing with trying to support as many people as I can through this ordeal. Raising 2 children, which I know people say that I don't all the time, but I really do. Working and supporting them, as well as I have crippling depression, which we all know about. So,
Same.
Yeah, that's what bonds us.
I know, pretty much.
27 month member. Hello, dear. I wish that I saw you more because I know you're local. You know where I live. Stop by anytime. I'm around home more. Nadia says, welcome, Lindsay. Stay strong for $9.99. Thank you so much. G Rob says, member for 19 months. God, you guys make me feel like I can maintain relationships. Thank you. Billy Thayer is really. I'm about to give him a link. I know that I said that I was going to end this, and I will shortly. Anyone can leave at any time, but I might send Billy Thayer the link just so we can dunk on a pedophile before I go to bed. I will expand on the furry prison story. I will probably do so in a video though, because it's a lot. So, yeah, she's fucked. Yes, and happy birthday, Grandma Sunshine Dragon. You don't have to ever give us a super chat, my dear. Take care of yourself first. Thank you for anyone who donated. Like I said, we are now helping our friend Lindsay out with this. She is now a paid member of Masshole Report, so I do appreciate that. I am going to. So if you don't want to watch, I don't know if anyone saw the video on Billy Thayer. He is Cyrax's friend who thought that I was a single mom of a 4-year-old and wanted to stay home all day and molest my 4-year-old. But he is begging for a link right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy it and send it to him, and he's going to come up on the panel. So if you are grossed out by Billy Thayer, which I'm assuming a lot of you are, now is a good time to leave.
Yeah. You've been warned, and I'm in the mood to be abusive.
He says, make Lindsay a mod in the server. I actually listen, I love you people in Discord. Thank you for reminding me this. If you don't belong to our Discord already and you want to, you can. It is a hive of villainy and scum. I say this every time. I have been less active in the server recently because I have been in a different server that most people can't join. And I try to keep any victims out of the server because, frankly, there's a lot of turtle riders in there. They're screenshotting everything and they're abusive motherfuckers. At some point when this is all over, yeah, I'll make Lindsay a mod. But right now, I try to keep her out of that shit because Aiden is insane.
And she's going to rule with an iron fist.
Iron fist.
Wrapped in a velvet glove.
Yeah, welfare in Section 8. I've been to where Lindsay lives, and I promise you couldn't live there.
I've never gone there in my life, so I don't know why they keep saying this.
Again, I think you're projecting your mother issues on the Lindsay, and it's weird.
Let's pretend that she was on welfare, J2K1980, who is a bitch and won't panel up. That, any sort of income that would help her to get off of that would be a positive thing. Nobody would have a problem with that except for you. So go fuck you. You follow a guy that hasn't worked in like 10 years.
Right. Also, let me point out who was a history teacher. And then on one of his live streams said that democracy was founded in Massachusetts. Again, a history teacher that said democracy was founded in Massachusetts.
Yes, when it was part of ancient Greece. When it was part of ancient Greece.
Yep.
Fucking idiot.
Right. And he was teaching children.
And
so,
also,
yes. Oh my God, is right.
In a sexual manner, which is why he got fired. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
J2K 1980, you wonder why we call you an inverted penis little chud. Because now you're saying you're going to put her Section 8 paperwork on Twitter. What are you trying to do with this?
About
Just
10
destroy
minutes.
Hi,
someone?
Billy. Billy, cam up or I'm going to kick you. Billy, cam up or I'm going to kick you. Sorry. Billy, cam up. Cam up, Billy. Or at least say something, Billy. Jesus Christ.
I can hear every single one of you.
Oh my God, it's Billy.
Billy, do you have a voice box? What's going on?
Nope, that is the voice of spare chromosomes.
Oh, okay. Are you shy one or do you have one too many?
Billy, turn your
7
camera
extra.
on.
I ain't turning
Turn your
shit on,
YouTube
bitch.
off.
Oh,
That
you talking
is the
tough
most
for a guy
correct
with
thing
no
you've
teeth.
ever said.
I ain't turning shit on, bitch.
I'm sure of it. You
Shit on, bitch.
pretty sure you got a track record with that, bro.
Billy,
How'd you
what
lose
did
all your teeth?
Yeah, Billy, why did you come here tonight? What do you want to say?
He said, I turned my
Don't tell
camera
me what
on.
the fuck to do, bitch. I ain't doing shit for you, bitch.
Oh, okay. So Billy, just in case anyone doesn't know who you are, I do want to introduce you properly. So this is Billy Thayer. Billy Thayer is a pathological liar. He claims to be high level in the military. He claims to have hacker skills. He claims to be like a black belt in
Fuck
jiu-jitsu.
you,
A
bitch.
crit.
Listen,
Don't forget that. He said he
please
was a
don't
crit.
interrupt my introduction of you, Billy. I'm getting there. So Billy Thayer is also a pedophile. He is sexually interested in toddler girls around 4 years old. Do you remember that, Billy? You remember when you thought that I was a single mother of a 4-year-old and you wanted to molest my daughter?
Oh, and he's gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was quick. All right,
Yeah.
that was a good end to the show.
Oh, God.
No, Jules, that's his mouth.
Yeah, he
I've
has
seen
no
Billy.
teeth.
He looks exactly like he sounds.
He also
Like Florida
practices-
man.
Yeah.
Like a cross between an Appalachian person and Florida man.
Yep.
I can't believe that he even came up here just to leave that quick. Yes.
He knows
So last
Platonic
summer
Kung Fu.
remembers Daddy
It's
loves
weird.
his little princess.
Just
Lindsay,
just
I'm gonna-
imagine Billy saying that. Daddy loves his little princess.
Oh, dude.
That
On that
man
note-
took a fucking Greyhound bus from California to Florida to threaten to kill Chuck Seagal. Never forget.
He did.
CR, he thought that I had a 4-year-old kid. He learned quickly after that I don't. My kids are pretty much adults at this point.
No, you do now.
Let me link the video in chat before I go, so that you guys, if anybody wants like a primer on
If
Billy.
you need to be up all night, this will keep you that way.
Yeah,
He does crip walk. Yes, Jules, he does. He does kung fu. He talks to
Yeah.
Satan. He does it all. Yeah.
Yep. All
I'll
with
be
no
copy the
teeth.
link. All right, I'll put it in the chat. That's fine. I feel weird. Like we have about 3,000 people watching right now, and I hate to just cut you guys off and leave, but I gotta go to bed. I have to get up literally at 6:30 in the morning.
I have to be to work at 6:30. Shit.
Well, I mean, I got to get my kids to school, and my son was just literally like, "I don't care, yell if you want. It's the end of the year." But even if it's the end of the year, we still need to get to school in time. So, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Thank you for being so wonderful to my friend Lindsay.
Thank you guys.
We'll be back in the morning because we're gonna stream the next court date for Karen Reed. So, if you want to do that, we'll be here at 9:00 in the morning. Good night, guys.
Night.
Good night.